Hey everyone, figured it's about time I give you guys an update. I've had a couple of people ask me where I was with the Nexus install project. Here's where I'm at. This is a very, very slow going process. Um, Basically, I have probably 4 to 5 mini projects going on, and I'm really taking my time. And I haven't even really got to the meat of the install yet because I've been catching myself up on Android. I know nothing about Android. There's ROMs and kernels and flashing and bootloader and I don't know, man. There's so much stuff. I'm an Atari guy, you know. uh, this is a little bit beyond what I am used to messing with. So I got it under control though. So what I have here is the Nexus that I fixed up. It's got it had Android 4.3 on it. I flashed 4.2 on it by some miracle. I've figured out how to do that. And it has Timur's USB ROM loaded into it right now. So I finally got my power and my power handling figured out. For those of you who don't know, Timur's USB ROM has, to me, it has 2 or 3 major advantages. Number one, it has fixed installation. Um, and what that does is when you take power away from it, it does a countdown, shuts down the screen, turns on airplane mode, puts the tablet into deep sleep, and uh, in my particular configuration, literally over 18 hours, it lost 1%, and that's been consistent. And the 1%, and it allows fast charging. So the as long as you have a good cigarette lighter charger, which I have one that's a pretty good one, it will recharge back to 100% pretty quick. And then this is when you put power back to it, it wakes right up, connects to my phone, connects to my Bluetooth right now because I don't have a DAC, and it works. So here's a here's a quick here's a cable. I made 2 cables. One is just a straight USB charging cable. This one I'll show you what I did, but this is a OTG adapter, and then it just goes into a male cable. And then this one I made into a splitter. You ready for this? This ghetto-ness here. This is a USB. This thing with tape all over it is the board out of the front of a computer case that has the 2 USB. A really old computer I built back in oh god, 10, 12 years ago now. Computer's out of commission. It also has audio ports, but all I really wanted was a female USB socket. And do you think I could find anything else laying around this house with a female socket? So it's wired up. The gauge wire on this thing is pretty heavy. It's actually heavier than the other wire, so it works. This is just to test the USB capabilities. This actually has music on it. I was using it with my Bluetooth kit, which also has USB in. I will not be running this. This thing has 32 gigs. Well, the one I'm using has 32 gigs, and I can stream Spotify. So there's no reason for me to have a USB stick full of music. But what will go in here is a USB audio device, which I got coming probably tomorrow, and I'm going to test that out because not to get too off track here, but I've been using Bluetooth, and it works really good when it works, but it's slow to connect. It stutters. It's kind of limited when I'm trying to use my phone. Also, at the same time, some weird things are happening, and overall, it's just kind of clunky. I think I'd rather have a direct connection that I can select, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to get it into my stereo yet. Enough talking. Here it is powering on. Now, I don't have any kind of custom UI set up or anything. So there's power, USB sticks on, tablets on. If I had Wi-Fi, and it's gonna start playing music because I didn't shut my music off before I put it to sleep. That's the other thing it does is it pauses your music and um, starts it back up again. So that's the basic gist of that. Oh, it does have Wi-Fi. I guess I still have it hooked to my house. So I mean that's it. I the only things I have done, um, I put GMD gesture controls, which is nice because I have it set up now so I can just scroll between my apps, my recent apps. And one thing that bothered me, um, one thing that bothers me, and man, this video is going to get so long. I'm going to lose access to my back, home, and recent app buttons. There's just no way around it unless I really modify my bezel, this bezel, which you guys haven't seen yet, I don't think, because I deleted that video because it was terrible. So without access to these buttons, I had to have a way to get home and all that, and so I've got it programmed so that, you know, I can access recent apps, and I have to reprogram the home one. It doesn't. I don't like the way the pinch works or doesn't work. You know, it's kind of clunky, but I'm gonna make home like 3 clicks in the upper right hand corner. Figure out something that makes sense. But GMG gesture controls is amazing. It works really good, and not having to mess with those soft keys. What else did I did buy another app. What was the other app I bought? I have Tasker on here, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. Maybe it is. Yeah, I think it was Tasker. I did purchase Tasker, and I'm kind of thinking I shouldn't have. I'm not really using it now. Not Tasker. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So my device or my interface is going to be something like a Subaru emblem and then some buttons. I don't know if anybody knows a good write-up or whatever on how to do that, how to make a nice. I have trouble getting it so that it fits my screen and the right format, and also resolution, and making invisible buttons. I know there's another app for that. So let's see, what else can we talk about? Oh, we can talk about how I'm going to mount it. I did make a video, like I started to say, and I don't know if I can find my. Oh yeah, it was showing how I'm going to mount it, and it kind of showcased this metal frame that I made. It's 1/2 inch U channel. It's notched, bent, and then aluma welded. And the idea is I was going to put some felt in there to make up the distance, and then the whole thing was going to slide in. Well, that's not going to work. First of all, this metal is very, rough on the anything that it touches. It's, plastic. The other problem is I want to use pogo connectors, and the problem is I would have to isolate them from this metal frame, which is, not impossible, but pain in the butt. So I scratched this just because it was out of control, and I made this. This is my new favorite material, ABS sheet that I got from Amazon for super cheap. The strip in the middle here, you can see it's made out of a strip that I bent and bent to shape. That is a little bit less than 3/16 thick, and then the other stuff is 1/8 inch thick, and it works really nice. But the tablet is such a tight fit in this that I've actually been sanding away at the sides, and actually heating it up and trying to get a little bit of room into it because I made it too stupid tight. But the nice thing about this is that 3/16 bottom, I can drill my holes and put my pogo pins straight into that, press them right in there, and I'll have my connection. So that's going to work well. This is the bezel I got. This is a factory Subaru navigation bezel. I have done some trimming already, but just to give you a basic idea, and I was hoping this was going to work. This is how it's going to look. Wow, that works really good, actually. You can see that I am missing my bottom buttons down there. There's another guy, I forget what his YouTube channel name is. It's Kyle something, I think. He did a really nice install, a little bit different than what I'm trying to do, but he cut this out. Sorry, cut this out, and I didn't want to have to modify this if I could help it. So this is what I have instead. I'm just going to leave it the smaller shape. I am going to lose a teeny tiny bit of real estate. I don't care, because as you can also see is that the ROM that I have on here, I can move all of this. I can even move the app button anywhere I want. So I won't have things down there to touch. Everything's going to be centralized. Even my apps, they don't really have anything down there that's that important to touch. And this is also exaggerating a little bit because it's not the same angle. But so there, that's basically what it's going to look like. Man, that light is so bright. I'm in my basement, which has zero lighting. Down here, I'm going to get tricky down here. There was just going to be buttons. Now there's going to be something special over here, and a power button that I showed you before in a previous video, and maybe a couple other buttons. With the gesture controls, the buttons are kind of pointless. So I am going to try to retain vents, and I'm not sure if that's going to work or not because of how wide the tablet is. But we'll work on that. So that's the basic mounting. If you guys are familiar, the guys that are familiar with the Subaru Cubby, this is the Cubby that I got from the junkyard for like $10. I like basically stole the thing. There's this trip computer. The trip computer is nice. It's got a clock in it. I'm not going to run a clock on my tablet just because I just don't find it real necessary. But there's a clock, and then there's your miles per gallon trip computer, and then there's this button here, which when you turn your lights on, your dash lights, radio lights, all your illumination dims. If you hit that, it comes back to daytime brightness. Now, I'm sure I could have found those two wires and put another switch in, but I decided that I wanted to relocate that to the ashtray. They make a $200 kit for that from Japan, I guess. When I got that Cubby out of the junkyard, I also grabbed the harness. So I'm going to extend my own harness, even though you don't have to. If you actually untape this harness, which is usually up top, you can pull it all the way down to the ashtray location, and it will plug in. It's just very tight. Here is my ashtray. You'll see a gap there. Don't pay attention to that gap. That gap's going to be gone. It's also going to be, it's going to be in the console, so that no light will be shining through, and you'll be looking at it more like this. So it's pretty flush. But that again is my favorite material, the ABS sheet. I did modify this trip computer. It is no longer suitable for factory use. It's got a couple pieces glued on and some new tabs, a brace for the back, which also helps brace the front, but it's completely removable. I can put the ashtray back in. Nothing's permanently modified here. And if you really wanted to, you could probably cut all the ABS off of that and glue. I think I have the original ears. I cut them off clean. They're around here somewhere. Yeah, they're in this jar full of ABS pieces. So that's that. That was kind of a pain to make this fit, and it's also curved. I don't know if you can pick up on that. Again, that gap at the top, I just have to adjust it again a little bit. It's not curved perfectly. It was almost impossible to get it perfect, but it's pretty darn nice if you ask me. It was a first shot, it's first try. I didn't think that was going to work. So that's how I'm handling that. I don't know if you've seen my other videos, maybe I haven't shown you, did have my Bluetooth display down here, and that's where I'm going to get a little tricky with my install. And again, so I have multiple projects. I have this that I finished. I have the software and power side of this, which I have to finish. I have the actual cradle, which after I get the tablet sliding in and out how I want, I have to figure out how to accurately place my pogo connectors, 8 of them, because I'm now using all 8, not just 4 and 2. It will not be dock connectors. I'm working on another wiring project for that. And then it's time to finally start moving out to the car to do some car work and get the mounting solution started, because I really don't have much going there. So this was a really long video. I know it doesn't show you guys much. I needed to give you some kind of update because it's been a long time. So all I can say is stay tuned. Here, I'll show you what this looks like closing down. Real slick. You can change that picture real easy. Up until it shuts off, you can hit the back button and it will stay on and not go into airplane mode, but obviously it won't be charging. And you can still use it. That's not usually showing up there. I don't know what's going on there. You can see it's in airplane mode, but you can turn airplane mode off. The neat thing is you can actually turn airplane mode off. Airplane mode off. It'll pick up all your radios again. And then when you're ready to use it, you don't have to go turn airplane mode on. You can actually go to Power Event Manager, which is part of the ROM, and I think you can usually go in there and um, it'll give you the option to, yeah, there it is. So you can say sleep now, hit that, and it will actually put it back to deep sleep. So that's a kind of a neat feature. Anything else I can say real quick? Just been busy. My basement is a mess. It's worse than the garage that I built the car in. I did build this nice bench, an 8-foot long bench to hold all my crap. That's in addition to the other workbench that's over there that's also full of crap. We've been building shelving and kind of organizing. I'm panning really fast because it's terrible. Basically, this is what happens when you don't have a usable attic or a shed. My lawnmower's down here. Got to take it up through those steps when I leave. All my garden tools. It's just terrible. But I have a place where I can come and grind on things, and I got myself a new Dremel. That's going to help. Yeah, that's it. I will hopefully have another video coming up soon. I'm really trying to get this done because I'm tired of looking at my car. It's completely torn apart. So just hang in there, stay tuned. I'll have some more updates. I'm going to have some car updates here pretty soon. And the channel hopefully will get a lot more content coming up here as soon as summer hits, finally getting out of this winter slump. So thanks again for all the subscription, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.